Hello, good evening. Welcome to this session, Building Community Power Around Money Matters. Earlier on, I was discussing with Whisper Ganya, Frederick Kumson, and Divine Mafa, and also DJ Wildfire on what we did yesterday, just to use this platform to talk about money matters, value matters. Why Blockcoin? Why build a community around Blockcoin? I have learned a lot about cryptocurrencies, and I've learned a lot about what is required to be able to reduce the cost of transmission or transfer of funds from one pocket to another. What is digital currency? Who are the digital citizens? Many of us are now part of this digital currency. How are you? It's good to watch you after a long time. Tandika, long time. How is the bishop? Long time, and indeed, this is a surprise. That's one of the benefits of just being in there and talking about things that impact others. Tandika, we're talking about building communities and using the communities as a problem solver. We have many people who are in the banking system and many others who can't get into the banking system because of one reason or another, including documentation. We are joined by Whisper Ganya, Frederick Kumson, and we're talking about how best we build these communities of value. What do you need to do? Earlier on, we were talking about Blockcoin, which is a coin that you can use to preserve value, to participate in the exchanges, in trading, and also to be able to transmit in terms of transactions in and out of the coin. And Salia Umbasha, thank you. Yesterday, Salia, you were with us, and we are joined by the representative of Bitcoin. We have agreed with Bitcoin earlier on that we will build together a community that is interested in reducing the cost of transactions. We live in the digital age, yet there are many people who would rather be outside the digital highway for one reason or another, including ignorance. Good evening, Mr. Ganya. Welcome once again to this platform where we
Good
talk
evening,
about values. All right. Go ahead. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a question from Moses Moo.
Thank you, Mr. Mawere. Thank you for the share, on your platform. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. The question is there, doesn't Blockcoin have a dependence on the receiver having a MasterCard?
Not so much. Obviously, that's an addition that we are going to put because we want obviously people to be able to receive or move money from the form to the card and be able to withdraw. But we are not at that point we are issuing that card at this stage, but that's where we are going. It's already part of the rollout plan that we have so that people have a card which they will then use to go to any ATM. Right now we're speaking to all the financial institutions, most banks out there. so that in any country, anywhere in the world, you'll be able to use that card and to withdraw money. So that's one. But obviously, the other way is what we discussed yesterday. But for the benefit of those that were not here yesterday, is that we will do what we call peer to peer. So it will be, from person to person, and be able to swap assets. That's also, another way of doing it.
Okay. When you talk about swapping assets, what are we talking about? What is an asset?
So yes,
What
so we are talking
what I
about anything of value, eh?
anything of value? Let's go
Right.
deeper on that. What is value?
Okay, well, it depends with how people look at it, but over the years, people have been looking at value as something that you're able to use or to exchange or other things, something that you're able to store, something that will increase, in its ability to be able to, either purchase or do exchange as an exchange medium. You know, so value, it's really, it's about people's well-being. It's quite broad, but in this case, I know most people understand so much more about, they talk so much about money, and people money and say, oh, no, 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 money, there's value. But that's sort of what most people really understand. But when we're talking about assets and value, we talk about, it could be anything. It could be vegetables. It could be meat. It could be anything that you place a certain value on and say, this is the value of this item. But for me to be able to, exchange that value with someone, you know, this is a medium that we are creating, so that between two people or families, in this case, we are more about really building a community, and say, in our community, how do we then be able to exchange this value that we have? You do have vegetables or meat. I have gold, or I have, money is in assets, is digital assets. How do we exchange this so that I have what I get what you have, because I want what you have, and I can give you what I have as a means of exchange. So it's a broad subject. When we talk about value, there's a lot of things that come into mind. But for tonight, the to see how are we able to transact as a family, as a community, and exchange goods and services in a more efficient way that doesn't stretch us, that doesn't cost us, a lot.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Kumson. Welcome back again.
Good evening, sir.
And we are talking about value.
My brother
And
Fred,
and
Good
we are
evening, my
talking.
chief. How's it, sir?
Yeah. Somebody says, what's the discussion here? And how do you put value to anything? There's a panel. What is this about? It's not about anything, but it's sharing what makes other people think and act on thought. That Fred, you have produced the song on value. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I've done that.
If you were to give a definition of value, I know already Whisper has given it and adequately covered it. So let's have different voices on what your understanding of value is, so that we democratize it.
Yes.
What is your understanding of value? No, it's gone. So here we are talking about value. Imagine I leave 2 stones
Yes.
on your table and I go away.
Yes.
When I come back, where do I expect to see those 2 stones? Imagine they are not diamonds, just pure stone.
Yes.
Where should I expect to find them?
Right there on the table.
Imagine this, the same stones contain precious
Yes.
material in them. Where would I find those stones?
Yes.
If I go
Oh,
and
this time, yes,
where,
when you come back,
where
they are locked somewhere safe, locked either in a safe or somewhere, so that nobody can reach them, easily. They are locked
Hello.
now
yeah, hello.
somewhere because something there's value.
When you have something of value, then
Can you all hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
All right.
Fred, if I have
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I can hear
something
you.
of value,
Mm.
can I leave that something of value and expect to find it if I go and come back?
That will be your expectation, but at the end of the day, it's reality itself. Sometimes somebody will take that value.
Somebody
But
would easily borrow it
yes,
without having any
your
value
consent.
in it. So when
Yes.
I take those stones and I take them away,
Mm.
then somebody will lose. You'll be looking for them
Yeah.
because they are worth something. So you put your money in a pillowcase, hide it because it is value. And
That's
once
it.
it is borrowed, anyone can use it to exchange for something else. And the
Yeah.
person who is at the point of
Yes.
sale has no way of knowing whether it's stolen or not.
Mm.
So here we are talking about building a
Exactly.
community of people who celebrate value, who work for it. Once they work for it, it comes as paycheck or a return on investment or a sale of something of value
Mm.
in exchange of something of value.
Mm.
So if you are in the animal kingdom, there's value,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it is not your value. You can't say mangoes are mine in the tree. But if you take the mangoes, take them to the market, you have added yourself in the mango. So the
Yes.
mango at the marketplace is no longer a mango.
It is
It
value.
is currency.
Yeah.
Give up cash in return for value in form of mangoes. But baboons may
Correct.
also want to eat mangoes, but don't expect them to give up anything to get the mangoes. So Dadirai says in the go only 8 viewers. What are you doing? Imagine somebody so
Oh, definitely. They
imagine
won't.
somebody comes and says, why are you eating food? And you are few of you. As if we are here to chase for numbers. And where is MM? Imagine people are saying, if we are coming here not to learn, but to build a zoo where somebody has to be there for there to be a show. Can you imagine that there are people who come in instead of listening to what we are talking about? We are talking
They come
about
to check on
value,
views.
but
They come and
others
check for
want to
views.
talk about the person called Mkoma Masimba because we are using his page with his consent and we haven't stolen the page. So that's how far we are. When we talk about money matters, we talk about value matters. Use your own account so we know what we are coming for. Mkoma Masimba said, let us build a global platform so that when he's not available, he's not available. My page is also used for other people so that together, when I am not there, somebody else can use it because it's just a vehicle. And when you use a car, you don't have to drive it yourself to be a car of value to somebody. What is a Facebook account that is not used by others? What is a car that waits for one person? The show is about value, building a community of knowledgeable people on value. So one of the value is money. Imagine you have two people, one in London, the other in Zimbabwe, and you want to send money from London to Zimbabwe. How best can you do it? You can send by Western Union.
Less charges.
You can send World Remit, Mukuru, MoneyGram, or any other platform that exists. Is it the sender who pays the cost of getting the money to where it's required? Or it is the receiver? And Whisper, if you heard somebody saying, send me an e-wallet, 1,000 Rand, you send it. But what is the cost of sending the money from your account to the receiver? How many people actually count that?
A lot of people don't know about that.
But somebody pays.
A lot of people don't know. Yes.
So
there's
do
a
we
payment
agree
involved,
that
whether you're
if,
sending your money from.
Oh, go ahead, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yes, no, I was just agreeing with you to say that there is definitely a cost involved, whether you're sending your money from London to Zimbabwe via all the platforms you mentioned, or you want to send money locally in South Africa using EFT. There's definitely a cost involved with that, and a lot of people don't really know how much they spend. But there's a lot that they actually spend by just moving money like that.
Okay. So do you agree that we don't have a shared understanding?
Yeah, we all agree.
On the cost related in moving money from point A to point B?
Yeah, do not have a shared understanding because some people think it's some people don't know that.
All right. Some people don't know, and we also have comments. Somebody that says, I'm falling asleep. What are you saying? Too many topics. What would you want us to say? Perhaps you can guide us. We're just talking among the three of us, just talk about value, the ignorance in the marketplace in relation to sending money from point A to point B. Who pays the sender or the receiver? And do we have a shared understanding in relation to the costs that are relevant in transmitting money from point A to point B, whether it's e-wallet, whether physically taking the cash, taking it to point B, and what can we do as members of one community to be able to reduce the costs related to the transfer of funds between point A and point B. And Samson says, can I join? Certainly you can join. The idea is to be able to build a community where knowledge is shared, and we give up time to give something of value to others, so that when you know better, next time you say, send me 1,000 Rand, and I deduct the cost of sending it. Then I send you 950 Rand, which is equivalent to 1,000 minus the cost of sending the money. How many people would be angry when that happens? And then somebody says using it to attract viewers. Who needs viewers when you have nothing to say? Imagine meat attracting flies or inviting flies, or we are using it. We have said, you know what is happening here? They are complaining about Mkoma Masimba's account, and he called in, he wanted to come on the show so that he can add his voice on this issue. But unfortunately, Frank has not charged the battery, so his battery is off, and therefore he cannot join us so that people can see that this thing was planned by the people who are there. So any addition to your own experiences on ignorance about money matters, value matters, is there anything you can share on your side? Is there anything you would wish to share? Whisper and Fred?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Fred, you can go ahead first.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Anything
yes. So with my understanding and with the value added on this community building thing that we're talking about, it's very clear, and it's something that shouldn't even confuse anybody. Value exchange has been there, barter trade time during our forefathers' time, and it has grown to this point of now getting into the digital world, whereby I don't see it to be a problem for people to find it as a fraudulent thing or something that is not going to work, because we are getting into the digital world whereby trading and other stuff will now wouldn't be using physical cash. We will definitely get into that platform whereby we'll be using digital transaction for everything. Building communities with this kind of ideas is something that is going to be growing very, very, very soon. Whereby I don't see it to be a problem for people to even see it to be something that is not going to go anywhere. As people are commenting that this thing is fraudulent and this thing is not going to work and this thing is not going to do this. But at the end of the day, if you put your mind together to say we're going to build this and we're going to let this thing work, it's possible for it to work. We already know some years back that it will get to a point that our phones will be the computer that we used to carry as a desktop. But now we don't have to even carry a desktop or a computer anymore. We just need to use our phones to do all these things. And that is the same way that I believe people should now try and understand that we are getting into this platform whereby this is going to happen. So it's about time that people needs to embrace this and let us work together as community and let us work together for this thing to work. Because how nice and easy would it be that you wouldn't have all these charges that you are getting currently from all these banks that we are banking from, whereby we can still trade among ourselves and everybody will find value in whatever that we are trading on. If I have my mango and Mr. Mawere is having his pawpaw, and he wants us to trade it using the blockchain. It's easy for us to have this thing done without charges, whereby we will all be eased in our mind. We wouldn't even be thinking of how much was it charged, because sometimes how terrible it is sometimes to even check your bank statement end of the month, and you will notice that the amount that you thought that the bank will be deducting every month is not even the same, whereby they will now be telling you the transactions that you did, interbanking transactions that you did, e-wallet that you did, sending money abroad that you did, and all those charges that you did are all being charged. And you probably didn't even budget for that or never thought about it. Whereby this platform, this botcoin is giving you the easy access to do all these kind of transactions without any charges, once off charges, and you are done, good to go, easy to flow with, whereby you know that your money is safe, kept somewhere digitally. How nice is it that today I buy a data of 1 gig, knowing that I'm going to be on a platform that I know very well that nobody has access to my data. I know very well. But with a bank, I wouldn't even know, because these days they even send alerts that there are fraudulent, what do you call it, alerts that are coming in these days that don't give your pin to this person, or don't even share your OTP numbers and all that. It means that there is still windows for your money that is even you thinking that is safe even in the bank to even come out of the bank. How do we even know that the e-wallet that you just sent to Mr. B using his phone number is even the correct number? By the time you even think of reversing it, it's going to take how many working days before that amount that you even sent will come, and they will even charge you for that. All those kind of transactions are things that people need to sit down and think about it, and then embrace this idea of building a community using even this board coin to even build this community, whereby things will be easy. You know very well that you send in money, there wouldn't be any charges. You don't have um, anything to think of, or having any idea of knowing that you have a budget to even spend at the end of the month, because you know that your money is still safe, your data that you bought is still safe. If you have not used it, it will still be there. It's the same thing that people should even think about to know that this is how this thing works. I don't see how difficult it is for people, because reading some comments and some things that people are saying about this, it's you can see people are not really open-minded to even learn and see how it's going to benefit. It took me just some few minutes for me to get the understanding from Mr. Mawere when he called me and spoke about this. I've heard about Ballcoin, but because I've not had anybody to even speak to me about it, Because of that, I wasn't able to join. But it took me some few minutes to even understand where Mr. Murray was going with, what he understood about it, and I added my view to it. And I noticed that it's going to be something that is going to help me. I spoke to people about it today, and most of them are excited about that. If they are not even going to trade with it, they know very well that their money is going to be saved somewhere, whereby they are not even going to be charged for their money being kept at that particular place. So those are the few things that I think I will add on, and I think people should just try and open up for wide thinking, because I know we have more room for improvement, whereby things are going to be easy if we take this thing to another level.
Okay, we are joined by Samson. Samson, we can't see your face. And William, Whisper, do you concur with what Fred has just said?
Yes, I completely agree with Fred. What I just wanted to say is that it's such a pity that I think most of our people are not
Good evening.
following the fact.
There's some interference. I'm not sure whether somebody's got a device that is.
Example,
Uh,
so that our people can actually start
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Whisper.
I think my internet is not strong enough. I don't know what's going on.
All right.
I think, Mr. Whisper, you can continue with what you're saying, please.
I think there is a
that.
audio
Yeah, I
problem.
think yeah,
I
and
think
I think due to the rain, internet is not all that stable due to
the
the rain.
internet is not. So yeah,
Yes.
maybe when we talk.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Mr. Whisper is back. So, Mr. Whisper, let's listen to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah,
sir,
sure.
we can hear you.
Yes. So the point that I was trying to make, I was okay. The point that I was making is that over the years, when you talk to anyone in this continent, everybody will tell you that we are not able to progress or to be prosperous as a continent because we don't have money, or we want investors. We want someone to come from somewhere to come invest money, and then we can have money. But I just want to give you a very simple example whereby uh, you know in 2019 alone, 48 billion dollars, okay, 48 billion US dollars was transferred through money through these online platforms from elsewhere to Africa. So 48 billion came to Africa via Western Union, via MoneyGram, and they charge 10% to do that transaction. So now think about it. What is 10% of 48 billion?
Mhm.
4,800
That's
billion.
10%.
5 billion.
It's a big amount, right?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
4,800 billion.
About
okay.
5 billion, right?
About
Yes,
So
5.
almost 5 billion.
right. So now, just in every, right. So just to give you an idea, every year there is money that Africans are paying. Every year they're paying 5 billion. That they're giving some company based in Europe somewhere for this service. Okay, so 5 billion every year goes down the drain. Investment is nothing. It's just for a service of of sending money to Africa, 5 billion every year. All right. So, how much can that do if you put that into an investment into Africa, into any other country in Africa, whether it's West Africa, Central, East, etc., etc. If you go into those countries that I mentioned right now, you will see that they are busy trying to apply for banks, a bank of China, a bank of somewhere. They are saying they want someone money. Governments are saying, please help us, we want money. But Africans are blowing $5 billion every year. It's going down the drain. It's not. I'm saying, what about what for which a community is drain. You don't have to more. We take away the
Mr. Whisper, your internet is baffling. So it's making your audio very like sounding very
send
very
money.
very weird.
Infrastructure, build all the things that Africa.
But what?
And we all understand problem.
Mr. Whisper, is it okay for you probably to move if it's your
Blockkoin
router or something to just
use that,
move
because
it
then you
around?
don't pay those. Use that. We no longer being charged.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hello. Yeah, I think there is a problem with the network.
Yeah, I think
I do have fiber here at home. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I do have fiber here.
But with the fiber, you are using your laptop.
Okay,
as
let me try to do
Wi-Fi
something
connection.
quickly. I'll do something quickly now.
All right.
All right.
If you have a Cat5 cable, you can connect it directly to your laptop.
Yes.
Okay,
let me try to do something.
Yes, sir.
Connect.
So thank you. As we wind down the show, is it important for us to talk about money matters for the people who are following? And what do we mean by mobile money? What do we mean by M-Pesa? People are familiar with M-Pesa in East Africa, in Kenya. When we talk about branchless banking, what are we talking about? A few years ago, if you said branchless banking, most people would not even understand what is meant. So if we are talking about mobile money, you have a mobile network operator where you open an account to buy data, to buy voice, and to buy other products. So you are an account holder for the mobile network operator. Then you set up a community, like a credit union, open an account in the name of that organization. Once you open, you deposit money into that main account. Once you deposit the money, then you can be issued with digital currency that allows you to convert your money when you go to a store. Let's say you go to a cash and carry, you want to buy cigarettes. You can then go to that store and pay with the electronic money that you have. But for you to get the electronic money, you must deposit the real cash. So if you have an ATM card, you can withdraw. But this digital age allows you to withdraw the money from a cash and carry store. You can get electronic money to buy airtime, then you give up the cash. You go to your app, then you pay with that digital currency. You can transfer the money to another person who can then go to the cash and carry and withdraw the cash. So that cash and carry becomes the bank. They collect cash for goods sold, then they go to the bank to bank that cash. But if somebody wants the cash, they will give up the cash and you transfer electronically to their account, as long as you are all account holders. So I can then move my cash into the bank through that agent who then acts as a bank. I'm not sure whether that is clear, that you no longer need to go to the bank to collect cash.
Yeah.
The agent can give you the cash and you give up Bitcoins or block coins.
Yeah.
And that is the civilization that we are now part of. There are many people, when you talk about electronic cash, who would not understand what it is that you are talking about. And obviously, Samson, are you there? Samson, are you there? Samson wanted to join us, but he is there, but we can't see his face. We can't hear his voice, but he's not on mute. So this is the branchless banking. So somebody was saying you need a MasterCard to exit. It's one of many ways of getting your cash. So if in our community somebody is selling cigarettes,
Correct.
then we'll be able to use this platform to pay for cigarettes in Bitcoin or Blockcoin. Then we'll be able to convert Blockcoin to Bitcoin and to other cryptocurrencies if you want to trade. So if you are watching there, is this something of interest to you? If it is, just indicate your interest. We know some people are allergic to discussing money matters. And when it costs them, they don't want witnesses. So if you are listening and watching, do you think it's important for us to discuss value matters, things of value, how you can transfer so that those you want to send money to can receive it without paying exorbitant cost related to transfer of funds or transfer of value? So let's give it to you for the last 8 minutes and hear what you have to say in terms of your interest in being able to benefit from knowledge about what value is and how value can be transmitted at a lower cost. And all the things we are talking about require volume. The more you are, the less you pay. The less you are, the more you pay.
The more you pay.
And it doesn't require any rocket science to know that. So for those who are interested in being able to know better, act better, please step forward. So we can have your closing remarks, Whisper and Freddie.
Yes. Mr. Whisper, you can take the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. The truth of the matter is we are moving forward. The future is here. And we have seen this from back in the day. We are progressing. Yesterday, I think I said, when I was growing up, my father used to buy me vinyls, is records, and he used to and from there he started buying cassettes because things changed a little bit. From cassettes, he started buying me CDs, and from there, I was now a generation of MP3s. I'm now the generation of streaming. Right now, I listen to music, but I don't buy any of those. I just listen to music via streaming. You know, and that is how much things have changed. And the same can be said again about money and currencies. When I was growing up, they were doing barter trade, they were doing these things, they were using cow and goats and things like that, and cash was a main thing. But I remember myself, I didn't even use a lot of cash because when I started working or running my business, everything was just money. From money, it was about bank transfers. Just online. I tell you that everything that I have, in terms of most of my, value, it's all stored in, in cryptocurrencies and so forth. And that is just the evolution of money. That's how things are changing, and that is the future. So my encouragement to people that are watching or listening is to say, do yourself a favor, learn a little bit about what is crypto, find out what blockcoin is, for example, find out what blockchain does and how it helps, because this is the reality we are currently living in.
Okay. No, thank you. And Freddie, what are your closing remarks?
All right. So the little that I will add on is people that are watching. Community building would help all of us. Or we all coming together as one with one common cause would help us. All of us will benefit from that. That is where we will find value in everything that we do. Um, in our time spent, in our effort, and all these things will be seen and will be recognized when we all come together as a community in one cause to have a more understanding and broad our thinking in how to build ourselves for us to be flowing easily in an easy way whereby nobody will be stressed out of anything. We'll be having everything at our fingertips. Things are going to be easier for us if we are multitude, if we all come together. As you said before, the more we are, the lesser we pay, and the less we are, the more we pay. So I will encourage everybody, anybody that who is watching, that let's all come together like a church of community. Let's all come together and build one common understanding. In a way, we'll all be comfortable and we'll all be happy as time goes on.
Okay, thank you very much. So until we meet again, thank you. Literacy does help to bridge, does help to build communities of diverse people with different values that they have in form of products, in form of cash, whatever it is. When it comes together, you got a bank. It stores value.
Yes,
When you have
correct.
C2C, you also have value in the people who put their things of value into one basket. So thank you and good night.